Good morning, students. Today we are going to start a new chapter in science that is from chemistry. And the title of the chapter is Acids, Bases and Salts. This is the second chapter of your book, of your NCERT book. This chapter is not new to you. The terms which are taken on this chapter, or the concepts which are taken in this chapter, are additional ones to your previous knowledge, because you're already studied the acid, bases, and salts in the previous class. So in this class 10th, we will go deep inside these substances, acids, bases, and salts. These three categories, acids, bases, and salts, are actually the compounds. These are not elements, these are the compounds. These are the combination of two or more elements. And this classification is based on their chemical properties. As we know that chemical properties are evident during or after the chemical reactions. So all these three are compounds based on their chemical properties. We start from acids. What are acids? The word acid has been derived from a Latin word acer, and the word acer meaning in English is sour. So all those substances which we found sour in taste, it means those substances contain acids in them. We can easily recall those substances which are sour. Example: sour fruits, citrus fruits, unripe tomatoes, unripe grapes, sour curd. There's a list, it's a long list. Some common examples of acids are acetic acid. Acetic acid is actually the vinegar. The vinegar, which is very common ingredient in Chinese dishes. Acetic acid vinegar is chemically ethanoic acid. Second is hydrochloric acid. The most common example that is found in our body. And if you remember, this hydrochloric acid has a great aid in the process of digestion inside the stomach. When this hydrochloric acids provide a medium to the enzymes to act upon, to break down pepsinogen. Remember pepsinogen? Pepsinogen is converted into the pepsin by the action of this hydrochloric acid. This hydrochloric acid has a great role in the process of digestion inside the stomach. Identify the acid. This is found in the citrus fruits. So simple. Citrus fruits contain citric acid. Citrus fruit contains citric acid. The unripe tomatoes. These unripe tomatoes contain the oxalic acid. Oxalic acid is also common in green leafy vegetables like spinach. All those green vegetables, leafy vegetables contains some amount of oxalic acid in them. The thing we have to remember here is all acids contain hydrogen in them, and if we dissolve the acids in water, acids dissociate to give hydrogen ions. So all acids dissociate to give hydrogen ions on dissolving in water. This demarcation that all those substances which give H plus ions are acids, because there are other also hydrocarbons also exist in nature which contains hydrogen in them, but they can't be considered as acids. Why? Because they don't possess the property to on being dissociation to give H plus ions. So hydrocarbons does not give H plus ions, free H plus ions on dissolving in water. Only acids possess this property to give H plus ions in dissolving in water. So it is a characteristic feature of acids in chemistry that they are those substances which dissociate or ionizes to give H plus ions on dissolving in water. Example, we can see here HCl. If we add the HCl in aqueous solution, that is in water, it dissociates to give H plus chloride ions, hydrogen ions plus chloride ions. Next comes the types of acids on the basis of their occurrence. On the basis of their occurrence, mainly of two types, organic acids are called natural acids, and second is mineral acids called man-made or synthetic acids. Organic acids, as the name suggests, these are natural ones. It means these are present in the nature. So as we can recall, the names of acids, citric, tartaric, oxalic, all these are natural acids. All these are organic acids because these are derived from plant materials and animals. Example of acid which we obtain from animals is the lactic acid that is present inside the milk and in cheese, curd, etc. These acids, organic or natural, are weak nature or of weak nature. On dissolving in water, they don't get completely ionized, they don't get completely dissociate to give H plus ions. So on being dissociation in water, they give a small amount of H plus ions. Because of this property, these acids are weak in nature. That's why these acids are not harmful for our consumption. That's why we can consume those products which contain these acids in them. Second is mineral acids. So mineral acids are synthetic acids which we synthesize in laboratory or in industries and are extracted from the minerals of the earth. Examples are hydrochloric, sulfuric, and nitric acids. These are very strong ones. The other two examples are sulfurous and carbonic acids. Sulfurous and carbonic are not so much strong as compared to the first three. Again, the reason is the same because carbonic and sulfurous acid does not get completely ionized in water. But the first three, HCl, H2SO4, HNO3 get completely ionized and gives a large amount of H plus ions on being distillation in water. Because of this nature, they are very dangerous. These acids are very dangerous in concentrated form. Concentrated means these contain a very little amount of water. On other side, the term is diluted. Diluted is the opposite of concentrated. Dilution means adding more water. So on dilution of the acid, the strength, the ionization strength, or we can say the amount of H plus ions gets reduced. So those acids becomes less harmful. But we have to be highly precautious while using these acids, mineral acids, in laboratories. Because if a drop of these acids gets fall on your skin gets burned. If a drop of this acid, concentrated mineral acid, get drop on paper, get fall on cloth, that will be corroded. That substance will be corroded, which come in contact with this mineral acid. So you have to be highly precautious or highly cautious while dealing with these mineral acids. Next category comes of the bases. The feature associated with bases is that bases are bitter in taste. Example, baking soda. But I will not advise you to test the substances by tasting them, because the substance may be harmful for consumption. So never try this. The second feature is bases are soapy to touch. What do you mean by this? The meaning of these words are, when we rub our hands, we feel our hands are slipping on each other. So on rubbing, on touching, bases are soapy and feeling. It means we get an idea here that soaps contains the bases, because when we rub our hands with soaps, we found slippery or soapy. Examples are sodium hydroxide, which is the most common ingredient in soaps and detergents. Second is the ammonium hydroxide of bases. Ammonium hydroxide is found in the cleansing agents. Because of their soapy nature, because of their slippery nature, they are found their applications in the cleansing also. Not all the bases are soluble in water. Some of them have the ability to get dissolved in water. And those bases which are soluble in water are called alkali. Alkali is a term has been derived from an Arabic word alkali. Alkali is, the meaning of alkali is the ash of starwort. Starwort are those flowering plants which thrive in the salty environment. Their ash is the soda ash. Soda ash is sodium carbonate, and sodium carbonate is greatly soluble in water. So because of this property of the starwort, because of the property of their soda ash, the term alkali has been given to the water soluble bases. So all the water soluble bases are termed as alkali. Examples are ammonium hydroxide, potassium hydroxide, calcium hydroxide, magnesium hydroxide. We can make a conclusion here if we relate the examples of bases which are alkali with the reactivity series. We found a particular relation. That relation is that the most reactive or more reactive metal hydroxides are alkali in nature. The most reactive metal hydroxides are potassium hydroxide, sodium hydroxide, magnesium hydroxide, and calcium hydroxide. So the most reactive metal hydroxides are alkali in nature, they get dissolved in nature, and apart from these metal hydroxides, ammonium hydroxide is also an alkali. When these alkali get dissolved in water, they will produce the hydroxide ion. These bases get dissociate in water to form the hydroxide ion. And this is the distinguishing feature for bases from the acids. Because in case of acids, we have seen that acids release the hydrogen ion, but the bases release the hydroxide ion. Remember these things, what you have studied today.